to the Meeting Your Soul podcast. It's Farah, your host, and today I'm in my car because you know what? I actually have some of my best moments while I'm driving and just most inspired when I'm driving for a numerous variety of reasons. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to record here and see how I'm feeling and see how this comes together for you and how all of you identify. It's probably one of the places where I feel the most relaxed and at ease. And I feel like when you're doing these pods, it's like really important for me to just be like myself and really authentic. And that's what's going to ring true for all of you. So nonetheless, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're like, why is she sitting in her car? And that is the reason why I'm sitting in my car. And I would encourage you also, don't you have like these revelations while you're driving or you're like doing something that's somewhat autopilot, but then you like don't really like think too much about it, but then you're also in your car, so it's just like whatever. Anywho, I am grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you're listening, and I hope the next time that you are rolling around in your car, that you'll tune in and use this as an opportunity to check in with yourself as well. And that's truly what this podcast was intended for. I wanted to create a space for us to be able to talk about what's coming up in life, what's going on with you, and how you're feeling, and to be able to create a space for you to just be able to connect deeper to your own soul. And I've gone through a journey the last like couple years of really connecting more towards my spirit and just my true Atman, my the wisdom and the essence that resides within me. And it's taken me on a pretty extraordinary journey and really helped me delve deeper into who I really was and who I've always been, and to be able to express that and share that with the world around me. So here I am sharing what I've learned to hopefully be able to help aid you on that same journey, so that we can all show up a little more authentically, a little more truly, and hopefully with a whole lot more joy. And that is my podcast topic today. I think it's because I'm in the car. I want to sing. Well, if you've listened to a few episodes, I sing kind of often, but oh golly. She's already weird. I'm very weird. I've accepted that about myself. Actually, I this is totally off topic, but it just reminded me of it. I just posted, if you follow me on Instagram at Farachino at Instagram, I share a lot of different things that I'm going through, personal like inspiration, as well as just inspiration from the interwebs. So if you don't follow me there, you should. It's actually a really great way. I have a lot of people that follow my content and just really enjoy it, and give me really positive feedback on it. So I would suggest taking a gander if you haven't already at Farachino, Ferrachino. But I just posted a thing today. I love astrology, as if you've ever listened to any of my episodes, you know that. And I posted one on Tauruses because it's Taurus season right now. And there's this picture of The Rock, and he's like, it's like from the 80s or 90s. I really don't know. But he's like up against it, and he's got like a black turtleneck on with a fanny pack, and it's like, tell me you're Taurus without tell me you're Taurus. Or how did you know I was a Taurus? Anyway, so I'm literally wearing this exact same outfit because it inspired me today and it just made me chuckle. So I want to make another what is that resemble, like I want to take another photo of myself that looks exactly like him and like put them next to each other, and I think it's gonna be so silly. And I was like, I'm so weird because I could have modeled any other person that's a Taurus, any other woman, and I just thought this was like too good to be true. Anyway, so if you see my black turtleneck, that is also why I'm wearing a black turtleneck today, because bitch is a little weird. I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Weird girls are hot and weird girls are the best. I truly do believe that. So if you identify with being a little quirky, I'm right there with you, and I hope that you honor that and love yourself for it, because we're the humor, we're the silliness that keeps this world going. So anyhow, going to the importance of fun. So what inspired me is, so while I was on this journey a couple years ago, I realized I was also had like a 2-year-old. I was working crazy amount of hours. I was really burnt out within my career. And this has happened to me a few times where I've burnt out and just like overworking. And I realized that I just wasn't having any fun. And like, if you're not having fun, it really can like take a toll on you. And it really does put us into this constant state of stress, which we have cortisol bumping into our system. And literally the worst thing for your health is having cortisol in your system on an ongoing basis. And so I was constantly stressed. My hair started falling out. Like, I won't even go into detail about the degree of things that were coming up in physical ailments because of the amount of stress I was under. And so I consciously made an effort to start incorporating fun and relief, some type of relief relief within my day. And so that was meditation or getting movement, dancing, spending time with friends purely just to spend time and have fun with no hidden agenda or nothing else that we needed to do, but just like, let's go and like go for a walk or like, let's laugh. Like that was truly my intention when I went and started spending time with people again. And just because I've been so, I don't know, like consumed with grind mode that I kind of forgot what it was like to just like be with people, and that was a real wake up call for me because I recognized the detriment that was occurring within my body and within my mental health. And once I started incorporating fun, like everything dramatically improved. And so then over the last couple years has been this like conscious effort of like incorporating fun, scheduling fun in. And Mike Ruckers, who actually was one of the co-founders of the Association of Positive Psychology, which is, I almost actually went back and got my master's in positive psychology because I was so fascinated by it. Because it really, so much of psychology is like the syndromes and the things that are wrong with us, like the mental health issues that positive psychology really switches the focus to what can you do in order to improve your mental health and your well-being, and really studying, people that are full of joy, that feel content, that have a sense of purpose. What are they doing differently than the rest, and how can we actually start to teach that and understand that on a deeper level and do research on that and experiment within that. So I'll personally made it very much an intention of mine is to understand what really does bring joy, what brings fulfillment, what brings a sense of purpose within people's life, and how can you create a lifestyle that supports that. And that's what I do with my coaching. I'm a mental health coach. That's like a part of why I'm doing that, is because I want to really help people like have a well-rounded life and a more balanced and harmonious life. And it's been a journey for me to find that within myself, and something I've always struggled with. And I think that's why I feel so passionately about it now. So he actually wrote the book. So first things first. Do you want to know why it's important for you to have fun? Because it seems frivolous, it seems dumb. You're like, Farah, I could be doing so many other things with my time. Yeah, you probably could. And you know what? Boring. I'm just joking. That's what my daughter says whenever something's boring to her. She goes, boring. I didn't teach that to her, by the way, but she just came through on me. But the importance of having fun, psychologically proven, having fun boosts energy, improves memory, creativity, enhances motivation, improves your ability to cope with stressful events, improves your engagement, improves mental health, improves positive patterns, and fights burnout, increases the amount of endorphins and dopamine and serotonin within your system, and strengthens relationships and social skills. So if you wonder why I think this is important, why there's an entire institution that's created around the study of this, that is why. And I think that anytime you have fun and you feel that joy and that like elation within your body, you recognize why that's important, right? Like anytime you have a great night or a great time with people, you're like, God, that was so much fun. Like, I'm so happy I did that. And it's like, we don't prioritize it because it feels like there's so many other things that should be grabbing at our attention. We should be productive. We should be like, considering the woes of the world. And I don't think that there's anything to knock that. I think that being aware and socially conscious is extremely important as just as important. But at the same time, like, for us to be able to show up fully and to come from a place of abundance within ourselves, of compassion and love, and from a place of joy, the only way you can do that is if you feel joy that's coming from the well within you, instead of seeking that external validation. And I think that was a big part for finding joy within my life, and the importance of fun was that it wasn't really about like me finding things that like the outside world. It was more about finding things that like really intrinsically motivated me to be able to keep going, and then I was able to show up more fully within the rest of my life. And I think that that's the part that I think changed for me. And once I recognized the importance of that, like I really, like, honestly, my whole life shifted. And people are always like, oh, like, you always look so happy, you always seem like you're in such a good mood. And it's because like I consciously make an effort to do that. Like, I don't have to do these things. And I don't know what people think of me, especially within like social media and stuff, but like, I really might seem like I'm always having fun, but it's like, no, I like work really hard. I kind of work a little too hard. I've always been kind of a workaholic. And so for me to be able to like make this such a priority was a conscious choice. It was not something that came automatic. And so that's why I'm encouraging you to be able to reevaluate your own life and where you're incorporating joy, where you're incorporating fun and being playful and silly, and not taking life so gosh darn seriously, because it's so easy to take life seriously. It's also just as easy to be able to slow down and really recognize what your fun magnets are. So that's what I want to delve into. It actually started, so the fun habit, how the disciplined pursuit of joy and wonder can change your life. And that's the psychologist Mike Rucker, who is also the founder of the International Positive Psychology Association that I mentioned before. So he talks about how that many teachings of happiness science into his life after keeping a gratitude journal. And I think finding gratitude is the kind of like starter point for you to be able to increase the amount of joy within your life, because you truly just appreciate the things that you already have. And life is so short, and things can change at a moment's notice. So to be able to like really look around you, to be able to appreciate everything that's right in front of you, that's really already at that arm's length, is it's a perspective shift. Again, it's a choice. It's something that you consciously could choose to do. And once you do, there is a sense of connection, and I think a true sense of at least like contentment that you get access to almost immediately. And so what I try to do each morning is I consider the things that I'm grateful for in my morning meditation. I meditate every morning. And so usually I will start with what I'm grateful for, because it really just gets me in that frame of mind, even if it's just like to sleep in a bed, to have a pillow for my head to rest on. To have my bills paid, to have running water, clean water, to have food in the fridge, to, for my family to be healthy and to be alive, like it makes me want to cry just thinking about this. I'm a total sap. If you haven't listened, I cry almost every episode. Finding the sense of gratitude really does make a world of a difference. And I think it really transitions you and from this place of not enoughness to everything that you already have is enough. And anything that comes in that's extra is in then that just like extra topping or that sprinkle on top, And I think once I switched kind of from that gear of just really kind of being aware of my surroundings, even just being grateful for the simple things, then I was able to like find a deeper sense of joy within my life. And I'm really careful about saying joy instead of happiness, because I think happiness is really fleeting. And I think if we use happiness as a level of evaluation for what's going right in our lives, it can really be a detriment and really pull us away from the things that bring fulfillment or growth or understanding yourself on a deeper level, without necessarily like being the easy things. To find a sense of joy within your life doesn't mean that everything's always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes it can be the total opposite of that. But that doesn't mean that there's less value, that it's less of it's less critical or crucial for your life. Like, I think that sometimes the moments of struggle and the moments of pain give me a sense of an appreciation of what's going right in my life more than anything else ever could. And so I do think just being consciously aware of that and not using this like idea of happiness to necessarily be the main indicator of if you are content within your life, because it can be a disappointment. It's like, well, if I'm not always happy, then something's wrong. And that doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. And that's why I really wanted to focus more on like fun, because I think finding joy and fun within your life there's no expectation, or there's less expectation around it. And then it's not almost to be expected that it's not going to be forever. Like, you're not always going to be having fun every moment of every day, but I do think it's a frame of mind. And I actually do try to have fun in everything that I do. It's so true though. And anyone that knows me, like, no matter where I'm at or who I'm with, like, I really am trying to optimize my moments with people. I'm trying to optimize life. I really do want to make the most of this life that I have. And one of the things that I value the most is being able to find moments of pleasure and fun with the people that I love. And I'm very intentional about who I create, who I let into my life for that purpose, because I really do want to have people around me that are seeking the positive within me, that are seeking the positive within their environments. And that's not going to say that they're always happy, that everything's always all good, because it's not. We definitely all have our moments. And we can get messy and things can be really sad. And life throws some curveballs. So there's no way ever to predict that. But I do think having a sense of appreciation and really just like seeking fun out is a difference. Like, people that are like always going to find out something wrong with every situation is probably not going to have fun, and nothing's ever going to be enough. Nothing's ever going to be good enough for them. But like really finding your fun magnets, as I was talking about before, and this is something that I just researched, and it's so funny because I am so intentional about the people that I spend time with and what I do with those people. Like I definitely have activities I do with certain friends and family members that I feel like it's like best suited for that person, you know, in a way of like, I want to have the most fun going to an art gallery. I'm probably going to go with my girlfriend, Kobe. If I'm going to like, well, and my friend, one of my best friends, Bianca, is like one of the most fun people in life. And I can literally have I can have a blast doing anything with her. And all of my friends, Kobe, same thing. Like all of my girlfriends, all of the people in my life, like they all love to have a really good time. And I'm so blessed because of that, because I really do have people around me that love to laugh and be silly and joke around and like not take things too seriously. And we can actually just like make the most of every moment without this expectation that it has to be absolutely that, but like really trusting our intuitions to guide us and coming and living from that state. And like, and I think for you to really identify who within your life brings you the most joy, like who makes you laugh, who like makes you feel at ease, who brings and like kind of shines that mirror on you in a positive light. And that's not to say again that there's never going to be hard conversations. There's going to be plenty of hard conversations, but like who are you around where you're just like, I cannot get enough of this person. This person, it makes me laugh so hard. And not everyone's for everyone. So this isn't going to be everyone, and not everyone is intended to be that for you. But there are those certain people that you click with, and I think then making them a priority is where it comes down to. Like sectioning and allocating the time for those people is what's critical in order for you to maintain that balance within your alone time, your solitude, and also those people. And there also could be activities that you do alone that can bring you, that can be really fun for you. Like for me, I love to drive and listen to music and dance in my car. It's one of my favorite things. I was already talking about earlier. It's honestly one of my favorite things to do in life. And I preferably like to do it alone with my daughter. I will drive with my daughter because she'll listen to music with me, but then she wants to listen to princess songs. I'm like, "Ugh, I can't always listen to Disney." And so then I'm like, nope, mommy music today. Okay. So, and then we'll listen, but then I have to listen to girl music. She only likes girl singers anyways. She's very demanding. I was joking, but she kind of is though, low key. But she'll be in the car, and then we'll just like dance and like vibe with each other, and it's a blast, and it's like really it's a big part of how we spend time together. And I'm really grateful that that's like a pastime that we both enjoy doing together. But I also love going for walks. I preferably like to go for walks alone, to be honest. Like, I like just being out in nature. I like being able to think. I listen to music usually when I do it, and I'll like dance the whole time as I'm like walking around. And that's like an activity I like to do on my own. I also like preferably like, I don't mind going to yoga with people, but I do prefer really like to go by myself and just have that to be like me time. And I think that that's also the importance. It's like solitude, I think, can very much be a part of your joy. Like for me to have like alone time to just be in my own space and not have to worry about anyone else is very key. It's critical for my happiness. It's critical for me to be able to just like have that opportunity to recharge. I'm definitely an introvert, and so I need that be able to have that space in order to really be myself and to be calm and to just be it. So figuring out what brings you joy within your life, who brings you joy, like where do you have fun, like, and I err on the side of caution, and I only say this because at certain points in my life I've been in this headspace. You shouldn't always be intoxicated when you're having fun. We're gonna toss that out there, just like throw it out there. You catch it, you don't, you won't want to. But like, if you have to drink or if you have to be on something in order to have fun, there's a problem. And I say this in the least judgmental way possible, because to be clear, I like to get down every once in a while. And if you know me personally, you know, I don't mind a cocktail. I don't mind a glass of champagne. I don't mean to say it in a way. Coping skills are critical. So I used to actually work for Teen Link, which is a youth suicide prevention specialist center that really supports it's a peer-to-peer helpline, but then they also do youth suicide prevention presentations throughout King County in high schools and middle schools. So it's a huge part of my job. I present to over 8,000 students and faculties, and just to say the least, I have studied this to a certain extent. So stress management is definitely a part of my life and has been something that's always been really important to me, and is something that I've actually taught across the state. So with all that being said, we all have coping skills. We all have ways to deal with stress. We all have stress, so you always have to have ways to deal with it. And having coping skills, any therapist, anybody that like works in mental health realm will talk about this with their clients as a way to be able to maintain a sense of balance within your life. And so when you have a coping skill, you need to have it within moderation. It needs to be something that you do that is a variety of different activities that you incorporate into your life to be able to make sure you don't rely on anyone too much, because if you rely on one too much, that it can lead and it can turn unhealthy. And I think that that's the key part of it. So when I talk about drinking, when I talk about using drugs in any way that you are, shape, or form as a coping skill, it's really careful to be able to be using them in moderation. And that's just what it comes down to. And I'm not condoning drug use. I'm not telling you that you should do any of that. But I think that to say it's realistic, in reality, a lot of people do. And so a lot of people use that as a opportunity to be able to, you know, remove inhibitions and to be able to relax and to be able to feel a sense of joy, to feel a sense of fun. But I do think to just be mindful if that's what your go-to is. And also trust yourself and do things that feel right for you, but also be mindful if you're numbing. And I only say that because for years I numbed as a way to cope. And because I feel so much, I feel such a spectrum of emotions all the time. And I also am an empath, so I feel a lot of other people around me, that it was overwhelming. And for me, the only way for me to really turn my brain off, to be able to like not stress and be worried about a million other things, was for me to partake in drinking and drugs. And so I consciously had to make an effort to stop doing that and to use it as really just a way to celebrate, to be able to have fun, but within reason, so that it never was something I was leaning too much, too heavily on. And within moderation, I think that you can have a healthy relationship with those items as long as you're mindful of how you're using them. So be conscious of that. I'm not saying that you can't do those things, but just be aware of why you're using them and how often you are. And I think that, like I said, that also comes along with social media, being able to unplug, to be able to be really present, to be able to enjoy what you're actually doing instead of like capturing it, or, you know, feeling like you need to like be like on scrolling on the gram instead of hanging out with people that you're around. Like being fully present and finding that sense of flow and engagement within your daily life is one of the absolute guaranteed ways that I found the most peace within, and also the way that I love to have fun. And I think when people are around me, they know like I'm super present and they're like I'm very much showing up for whatever the moment is like offering me. And I'm also involved in conversations and talking to people and being there with them and being in the moment. And I think when you're in the moment, then you get to like access that secret sauce of like what could be and like where it can take you, and also the memories that you're creating with the people around you to really amplify the joy that you're experiencing within your life. And to be able to do that, like if you're constantly distracted with a bunch of other things, it's really hard to be able to even have fun because you're like constantly getting pulled in a million other directions. So, you know, I think all this comes to stay is like, one, recognize like what you like to do and like who those people are and your fun magnets, like really in the activities that you want to partake in to be able to create more joy within your life. And that alone will completely shift like your perspective on it, because then I think you're just a little more intentional about how you're utilizing your time and the people that you're spending that time with, and like really scheduling it in, like planning dates with your friends, planning dates with your family members, planning, like I used to say, when I was going through like my time where I got completely overwhelmed, I like Thursday afternoons were my fun days. And I was like, no matter what, I'm like, my daughter's at school, like I'm going to have fun during this time. And if that was me going for a walk or like going to a park or going to like a movie, like whatever I wanted, but I had to have fun during that time. And like it was like, it's so sad. It's like really depressing to think that how strict I had to be with myself because of how out of like habit it was to have for me to have fun, because I was so used to working, I was so used to taking care of my daughter, I was so used to taking care of everyone else that I really stopped taking care of myself. And that's why I encourage you to really be aware of this for yourself, because there's life is intended to be enjoyed, right? Like we're meant to, joy is our innate state. Have you ever seen how happy a baby is? Like they're crying too. They feel the full spectrum of emotion. They cry sometimes, but that joy and that sense of presence and that sense of just delight, like there's nothing like it. And to really just like let go of this need that happiness needs to be something other than what it is. And that happiness is then the evaluation or the barometer for what joy is within your life. You don't have to be happy and necessarily to find fun. And just like finding fun in whatever way you can is more than enough. And like those fun magnets for you, and like being able to set time aside to be able to do it, to be able to like put it on your calendar, to schedule it, and then to also be unplugged and truly present when you are then experiencing it, can just give you an excuse to be able to recognize the well-being, like to actually improve your well-being, and to be able to have moments that are able to fill up your cup, to be able to bring you back to center, to bring you back to yourself, and to really appreciate the people that are around you, by having fun with them. And like life is too short. It's just too gosh darn short, and you never know when things can be slipped from your fingertips. And always think of the future. Well, I'll have fun when this happens, or I'll have fun when that. Like, fun doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be extraordinary. It can just be it. All this goes to say that incorporating fun reduces stress, increases the amount of endorphins within your brain. It enhances creativity, optimizes strengths, boosts self-confidence, and improves relationships. So when I say that having a lot of fun within your life is something that I have noticeably can guarantee you within my own life experience all of those benefits, I know that you can too. And I think just being mindful of like how you're incorporating your fun, knowing that it doesn't have to look like anything, that what matters most is the things that you like to do for fun, and just making time for them. And once you're able to make time and really allocate the amount of space in order to be able to connect to yourself, to connect to the community that surrounds you, and to actually laugh and enjoy the time that you have with them from a sense of presence and no expectations and nothing that needs to occur, but really just allowing what should happen to actually then unfold, is such a beautiful thing, and is so underestimated within our society as something that is important. And just like placing an importance within your own life on that will really just transform everything that you do. And it will give you a chance to be able to like prioritize your playfulness, like to be silly, to go out there, to just like have a sense of confidence. Because when you're when you're in your own groove, when you're in a state of flow, like you're not worried about how people are perceiving you or what they could say about you. You're really just in your own essence and owning what that is. And then you are able to then show up more fully and also hold space for others people in that same way. And I think that that's like the secret sauce of being able to have fun, is not to like say that it has to be any certain way, but that it's just the way it is for you. And then you naturally gravitate and really magnetize the people that are meant to be in your life at the same time, because they're having fun and finding the joy in the same things that you are. And then you amplify that by creating those stronger relationships, being able to be a reflection, those fun magnets for other people, and then they can be those fun magnets for you to be able to really just have that sense of pleasure and joy that we all, I think, are seeking, that we're all looking for, but can be hard to really grasp and like maintain because of the demands of life. Life is always pulling us in a lot of different directions, but this is definitely just as important as getting your workout in, and maybe you have fun doing that. So like if you have fun playing that, or you play sports and that's like really fun for you, but then you also get a workout in, you get that endorphin release, like more power to you, boo. Like keep it up. Like do the things that are important to you, and just I hope that some of those are fun too. That's really what comes down to. I just want you to have fun. So have fun, enjoy your life, and see where it takes you, and see how it improves what you're experiencing and what you're believing and what you're having occur within your life. And I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this. Feel free to reach out. I'm here, as I mentioned before, I'm at Ferrarino, Ferrah on the gram. That's my YouTube channel as well. I'm on Pinterest. I share a bunch of different tips in different ways. So however you'd like to connect with me, I would love to hear from you. And I hope this is benefiting you and making your world a little bit more enjoyable, and that it's building some fun. And tell me what your fun thing is. Let me know what you did for fun after listening to this, okay? Because that would truly make me the happiest. All right. I love you guys. Have a great day. Peace.